Welcome and greetings. Welcome to a special episode of In-Depth. Dike Rostant here with you, letting you know that on Republic Day, Central Bank opens its doors to a musical tribute to one of Trinidad and Tobago's musicians and composers who transitioned 19 years ago. It features Mavis John, Empress Aje, Ataklan, Canal, Stacey and a Pannist, Natasha Joseph, and it's entitled CHANTUELLE VIBZ, a musical tribute to Andre Tanker. We speak with executive producer and performance artist Empress Aje about it now. How you do, Empress?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Now, I hear things are going well, so it's not as though we need to advertise. We'll get your tickets here, but what is this day about?
No, we need to advertise till the last hour. I want it totally sold out. Didn't sell out yet.
Okay, but what does Republic Day mean to you?
Well, Republic Day, for me is celebrating our national treasures, celebrating, the ethos of our people, which is so diverse, so much to talk about, not just in terms of the fact that it's sovereign to Trinidad and Tobago, and we do have a monarch, etc. But speaking to, daughters and sons of our soil who would have paved the way in different areas, whether it's the arts, politics, etc. It gives us a time to celebrate these national heroes.
And why Andre Tanker on Republic Day?
Well, he is definitely, a national icon, a musical icon, who has contributed significantly to the landscape, the musical landscape of Trinidad and Tobago, and regionally, internationally. And September month is the birth month of Andre Tanker. So I said, it's very fitting to give tribute, to pay homage to such a master musician and composer as Andre Tanker.
And if when you're speaking about him, I'm hearing the passion just rolling off of you in waves. Is he one of your musical influences also?
Definitely, because, my spirit, who am I? We have different things that, as they would say, draw us in. I always gravitate towards the Chantuelle rhythms, the African rhythms, even the East Indian rhythms. I find it very interesting, the tabla, the sitar. And Andre Tanker used all of those rhythms, even Latin. His music, it's so acoustic and natural that it will speak to your soul. So many adjectives to describe this man, Andre Tanker. But his music always appealed to me as a young child because although I never met him personally, his music influenced me a lot because, grew up listening to that type of music.
And even moving from Gay Flamingos to One World Contraband, one of the things I think was really intriguing about Andre Tanker, I think he was a visionary in the sense that, like you said, he was able to take all of these things and meld them together. And that in and of itself, his music is a kind of microcosm of what Trinidad and Tobago is and can be.
Correct. You couldn't put it any more clear. Correct, everyone can relate to Andre's music. For example, there is one on his album called Karapichaima, which is an East Indian instrumental. It's also going to be among the songs on stage come Saturday night. And when you listen to that fusion, I think the mandolin was used, the sitar, the guitar, it's so rich. It's really amazing. I sit and when I listen to his music, it's like what really influenced this giant had to be an energy other than mortal man and physical man, had to be divine. His music is so divine.
And in terms of the talking about that, Aje, what went into getting some of these individuals who are sharing their time with you this Republic Day in tribute to Andre Tanker?
Well, it was a difficult task. I can tell you, selecting the cast. I mean, so many others could have joined us, but limitations in everything, especially financial. But I looked at persons who worked with Andre Tanker, and if not, they carry within themselves their music, their genres, that energy that they could perform in such a show. with such an energy because, you know, we have different genres of music, but for this purpose, I specifically looked at artists whose music would speak to me along those rhythms, whose character would tell me that they can perform his music on stage because the songs 95% is Andre Tanker. I allowed guest artists to at least do one of their original song, but everything else is Andre Tanker's music. So you must hear an Andre Tanker song that you know.
And even with that though, how do you go about saying, okay, well, these are the songs that making the cut? Because naturally, and when you think of Three Canal and Food Fight or Ben Lion, there will be things that, okay, yes, they actually perform these things with him. But saying, okay, well, I like this one, you know, but not for this event. What was that like? Is it like throwing away people, or is it a hard process? What was that? Take us through that process.
Well, you know, I work very closely with my musical director, who is Rodney Alexander. He's a bassist. And, you know, I rely heavily on his experience in terms of, you know, structure of the show and where you place music, because, you know, you don't want a lull and you want to keep the vibration high, you know. And that takes meditation. It takes focus, right? So, for example, as you rightfully said, Three Canal, you know, all their music awesome, but you want to look at the music that will tell a story, that will reach people, that will create a certain energy in the show. So it's not that easy, but it was done, as I said, you know, leaning upon the vibration and experience of even Tamba Gwindi. I call him Baba Tamba Gwindi because he is a master percussionist who played with Andre Tanker for 17 years, and he's going to be on stage as well.
And you say Tamba, and I start to get confused. Left-hand percussionist from South. Give thanks.
That's
but
right.
How do people actually reach out and say, okay, well, you have a few more tickets. How do people reach you for this?
Right. So Crosby's Music Center is definitely out. We have Extra Foods, 3 locations, Arima, Grand Bazaar, and Endeavor. We have Mart's Liquor Palace. I hope Mart still has, because I know quite a number of people call for Mart's in Diego Martin. Online, we have Island e-tickets. I think that's the place where you might still get a greater number of tickets. Yeah. You have myself, 482-3111. You can call me, or 678-2843. And I'm not promising, hopefully, at the box office, Central Bank Auditorium box office on the day of the event from 12 noon.
So we want to thank you so much for sharing some time, because you're gearing up for the thing, and I'm sure there's so many dots and that still need to be put together. I's to dot and T's to cross. But thank you very much, Empress Aje, for the work that you're putting in. And on behalf of our entire news team, I'm Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.